Shalom, shalom. First thing and foremost, I want to give all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushai, Bahashim, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles, double honors to the elders, great millstone for teaching this truth according to the Bible. A sincere shalom to the fellow laborers who push this truth and believe in this truth in the last days as we are called to do so. I'm just throwing this video up, just hitting the button real quick. I don't got any precepts prepared, but I saw this, I had it saved, and then it just came up where the spirit hit me to talk about this specific clip. All right, within this video put up by GMS Dedication, the brother put this video up a day ago. Okay, so I suggest everybody subscribe and go watch and be edified. But this man right here you see on the screen is going to go into what's going to take to actually fight this war in Iran. And the Lord told us, okay, the Lord told us, all right, we know this war started. All the brothers made videos on it. It's escalating every day. Okay, the United States is in Israel. It really don't seem. Now, of course, we have the fog of war, going on, but it really doesn't seem like the United States and Israel had a very good plan going in. All right, they did not expect the tenacity and the perseverance of these Iranians. Okay, so now they're having trouble, and it's looking like they're gonna have to put boots on the ground. All right, so this is going to become a whole different kind of war, man. When you put boots on the ground, that's a different level. Okay, this whole air raid bombing campaign, you're not going to be able to, sustain that, and you're definitely not going to be able to topple a regime, a government, by just doing that. All right, especially a government like Iran, where pretty much the entire military infrastructure, the entire government apparatus, which is decentralized, by the way. Okay, the entire manufacturing base is underground, deep underground. We're talking miles underground. Okay, under mountainous ranges. Okay, there's a reason why they say that area between Iraq and Iran. Okay, they call that the place where empires go to die, because historically, the Persians, all right, that area in northern Iran, okay, that's where a lot of armies, large, powerful armies, have wiped themselves out trying to infiltrate, trying to penetrate that fortified position that is Iran. Okay, on foot. This gentleman here is going to go into the fact that America is going to have to put boots on the ground. Okay, and they're going to do so. They've already got troops deploying. I heard today that there was already a failed attempt at some special forces operations that tried to go in, and they were wiped out immediately. Okay, so Iran is no joke. They got hands. They know how to fight. They've been planning for this war for over 2 decades, and they're just sitting back waiting. Okay, now this is going to cause what it's talked about in let's get it real quick before we play the video. This is going to cause what's talked about here in Isaiah chapter 3, all the way at the end. Isaiah chapter 3 in verse 25, it says, thy men shall fall by the sword, and thy mighty in the war. Okay, thy men shall fall by the sword, and thy mighty in the war. Okay, there's going to be a military draft. All right, it's the reality. Okay, this is gonna happen. This is real. All right, most people they don't, because it's not in front of them. Most people just tend to ignore it. They want it to go away, like the boogeyman. You close your eyes, hide under the blankets, but this is not going away. This is going to happen. Okay, it says, her gates shall lament and mourn, and she, being desolate, shall sit upon the ground. And that was talking about Israel. Okay, but in today's time, you bring this prophecy to today, and it's talking about the United States of America, Babylon the Great, Egypt. Okay, the United States of America is going to be forced to put boots on the ground in a hot war against the most fortified country in the world. And it's what one of the brothers put it this way. Okay, those soldiers that go over there are nothing more than fuel, and they're going to be thrown into a meat grinder. Okay, I've said in other videos that, some of my favorite movies, okay, produced in Hollywood, some of my favorite movies are those World War II era combat, World War II era films like Saving Private Ryan. You also got Fury, okay, Inglourious Bastards, movies like that that depict World War II, okay, and the invasion of the battle between Nazi Germany and the West, okay, and the Allied countries. All right, those are some very heavy-hitting, action-packed movies, okay, and very historically relevant, okay. You know, those movies depict a certain type of warfare. Okay, it was very grueling, it was very gruesome, and that was a meat grinder. Okay, where young men were just thrown into the front lines and they were just absolutely slaughtering each other. And if you think about it, in the movie Saving Private Ryan, okay, that first scene when they were rushing the beaches of Normandy, okay, those boats that ran those troops up on the shore. In the very first scene, when that door, okay, to that amphibious vehicle opened, the Germans had fortified positions and they absolutely opened up their machine gun fire onto the American troops that were trying to rush the beach. And basically the entire platoon, okay, was wiped out by just machine gun fire. Okay, you had one or two guys that maybe made it out of that vehicle by jumping over the sides, but pretty much the entire group that was within one vehicle was taken out by a machine gun. Okay, this is the type of war you're going to experience in Iran in World War III, but it's going to be even that much more violent. It's going to be even worse because not only are the weapons better, not only is the position of Iran more fortified, okay, because Germany, remember, Normandy is in France, the south of France. Germany had to invade France in order to set up that position on Normandy. Iran is on their home turf. They've been preparing for 20 years and they have missiles now. So you don't need a bunch of machine guns to take that entire platoon out. You just fire one ballistic missile at their ass and they're all toast, blown up. So this is the meat grinder that everybody's going to go into. And the Lord says also in Isaiah chapter 9, okay, let me see if I can find it. Right here is Isaiah chapter 9 and verse 5. It says, "For every battle of the warrior is with confused noise and garments rolled in blood. But this shall be with burning and fuel of fire." So World War III, okay, well, think about it back in the old days, in the ancient world, okay? When you fought a battle in war, what was it? It was hand-to-hand combat. It was sword on sword, shields, spears, javelins. It was a mass jumble of men stabbing, ripping, biting, crushing, punching. That's what it was talking about, where it says, for every battle of the warrior is with confused noise. Because, if you're in the middle of that, in the heat of the battle, I think about what King David did, okay, to Uriah the Hittite. He put him where the battle was most, where the battle was hottest. I believe that's what the scriptures say, okay, where the battle was most fierce, okay. You think about, you see these medieval war movies where, you just have two armies crash into each other. That's what this is talking about. And it's confused noise because you're going to be hearing screams and yells and grunts and sounds of bones and metal and all that. That's what this is talking about. But what about in the last days? Because battles aren't fought like that anymore. How are battles fought? It says, in garments rolled in blood, but this shall be with burning. That's fire, right? And fuel of fire, meaning rockets, grenades, bombs, okay? Even machine gun fire, right? That's how this final battle is going to be fought, okay? Especially with the rockets and the missiles, okay? So let's go watch this video real quick and see what he has to say about this ground invasion that they're going to have to partake in, because the United States doesn't have a choice, okay? The United States is not built, okay? The United States is not built to fight a conventional war like this, all right? They're built to be superior in the air, drop bombs in and out, short 1-2 days, maybe 3 days of war, and get out of there. But unfortunately for them, fortunately for us, Iran is a military that is built for a war of attrition. Okay, meaning it's going to take a long time. They're dug in. All right, they're able to throw soldiers and missiles at this front for a very long time, years. And the United States just is not built for that. So let's watch this video real quick.
There's going to have to be a ground invasion. This ground invasion is going to be the bloodiest since World War II. China and North Korea have both started sending troops to Iran. This is going to be casualties that you cannot even fathom. The casualties are going to be through the roof. We're going to see C-130s coming home full of bodies. That's what America is looking at. I'm not proud of it. I'm not saying it's a good thing. I'm saying that this all can still be stopped if we drag Donald Trump out of the White House. Iran is not a threat to America. Iran is zero threat to America. Iran is a threat to Israel. Iran is in no way a threat to America. But Donald Trump and his bid to stay out of prison for raping and killing children will stop at nothing. As I've said 1,000 times, he will gladly send your sons and daughters into the meat grinder and them come home as hamburger. He does not care about you or your children.
Hey, what is he talking about right there? Okay, let's get it. Isaiah chapter 19, right? Let's get it. Let's see, look at cruel Lord. Of course, it's not going to come up, but I know it's in Isaiah. I believe it's in Isaiah 19. Cruel Lord. Isaiah 19:4. Okay, I believe I had it even marked. I don't know how I missed it. Oh, no, I didn't have it marked. Okay. So this is Isaiah 19:4. It says, "And the Egyptians will I give over into the hand of a cruel Lord." That's Donald Trump. Like he said, he doesn't care about your sons. Donald Trump's son is not going to fight in the front lines. Donald Trump's son is got private security. He lives in high rises in New York and Miami. Okay, living the life of a prince, living the life of a high roller. Okay, Donald Trump does not give a fuck about your sons, your young men that he's about to send into this, what he's called the meat grinder. And he's absolutely right. Okay, that's the Lord's meat grinder. Okay, because the Lord is punishing Babylon. This is punishment. Okay, this is punishment for everything that you Americans, you Edomites have done. Okay, and you 2/3 Jakes that are in that military, hey, you're gonna get exactly what you deserve too, because you should know better by now that you should not be in this man's military. Okay, and why you would be, I have no idea. But at this point, it's too late. You're going to war. Let me read it again. Isaiah 19:4. It says, "And the Egyptians will I give over to the hand of a cruel Lord, and the fierce king shall rule over them, saith the Lord Yahweh, and the Lord of hosts." So yeah, Donald Trump is that cruel Lord. He's gonna make them, okay, go to war. What was that in 1 Samuel? I believe it was 11:8. What was it? No, 1 Samuel 8:11. Maybe it was 1 Samuel. Okay, yeah, 1 Samuel chapter 8. And this was a warning concerning Saul, okay, when Israel was asking for a king, okay, but bring it to today. Let's read it right here, 1 Samuel chapter 8 and verse 10. "And Samuel told all the words of the Lord Yahweh unto the people, and asked them that asked of him a king. And he said, This is the manner of the king that shall reign over you. He will take your sons and appoint them for himself, for his chariots," that's his military, okay? This is the draft. This is the conscription. "For his chariots, and to be his horsemen, and some shall run before his chariots." okay? And he will appoint him captains over thousands, captains over fifties, and I will set them to ear his ground, okay, and to reap his harvest, and to make his instruments of war and instruments of his chariots. So that's a conscription. That's a draft. The same thing is said in First Maccabees 10:36. There was a draft during the time of the Greeks. Let me get that real quick. Then we'll close out. Oh, I looked it up earlier and it just popped right back up. First Maccabees chapter 10 and verse 36 says, I further that, see, this is where the I believe it was Antiochus, okay, that drafted and forced the Israelites to serve in his military. It says, I further that there be enrolled among the king's forces about 30,000 men of the Jews, unto whom pay shall be given as belongeth to all king's forces. So they were forced into that military. Okay. They were forced into that military. That's a draft. And that, he's right. There's going to be a draft, and there's going to be masses of bodies. Okay. And they're not coming back, by the way. They might start, they might have bodies coming back, every once in a while, but the battle is going to be so hot that these bodies are just going to be, rotting where they drop for the most part. Okay. Because the Lord said that these, one of the first jobs of these elites is that they're going to be, when we take them into slavery, Lord's will, we're part of the elect. When we take them into slavery at the return of Yahushua after the battle, okay, and we come back down, the first job of the elites is going to be picking up bodies and burying them. Okay.
Or this country.
Because the President of the United States of America is a fucking pedophile. And
oh yeah, that's another point. Yeah, the whole point is that Israel, okay, the state of Israel, the fake state of Israel, okay, those JOOs, they blackmailed Donald Trump to do this. Okay, they got him with the Epstein files. Okay, obviously. Okay, it's clear they got him with the Epstein files. That's why a lot of brothers are calling this whole military operation they got going on in the Middle East. Okay, they officially named it Epic Fury, but it's really should be called Epstein Fury. Okay, because that's who this war is for, to protect those people that are on the Epstein files from facing judgment. Okay. They don't want to face judgment, so they need something to distract the people, okay? And they need something to collapse the economy so that they can bring in this MOTB, okay? They can have an excuse to collapse the economy, collapse the foundation of the social fabric of America, and bring in this MOTB, all right? So, yeah, so this dude is mad. He's upset about it, all right? Understandably so, You should be upset about something like that, but got to understand the larger plan of the Lord, man.
Israelis gathered blackmail on him through Jeffrey Epstein for fucking decades, knowing that if they could get that cocksucker into the fucking Oval, then they would finally get exactly what they have wanted for the past 47 years, which is to destroy Iran. That is the state of this fucking world.
Hey, he's right. Okay. And what do the scriptures say? I believe that's Jeremiah 50 or Jeremiah 51. Least of the flock. Okay, Jeremiah 50 and 45. It says, therefore hear ye the counsel of the Lord Yahweh, that he hath taken against Babylon, and his purposes that he hath purposed against the land of the Chaldeans. Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. Surely he shall make their habitation desolate with them. So that's Amalek, okay? The fake state of Israel. That's the least of the flock. Drawing out who? Drawing out the United States, which in turn will draw out the rest of NATO, which in turn will draw out the enemies of NATO, which is Russia, China, North Korea, Iran. This is what all started because of them, okay? And everybody knows it at this point. At the noise of the taking of Babylon, the earth is moved, and the cry is heard among the nations. Yeah, when they finally shoot off those nuclear missiles at the end of all this, okay, we go through tribulation, Jacob's trouble, and MOTB. Yahushua will return in the middle of this war, okay, And they're all these nations are going to stop fighting each other and try to fight Yahweh Shai, which they're going to call an alien invasion. All right. But they're going to be wiped out totally. Okay. By Yahweh Shai. Okay. It's going to be light work. All right. And then nuclear as a response of these nations losing all of their military power, all of their soldiers, all of their equipment. What are they going to do? They're going to have nothing left but to launch missiles. And who are they going to launch missiles at? They're going to all be pissed off because it was the United States and Israel that caused this to happen. So they're going to shoot their missiles at Israel and the United States. All right. So that's the point. World War III has started. Okay. Jacob's trouble is about to commence. We're about to see the fulfillment of prophecy. All right. Isaiah 4:1 is about to take place. You proud ass women, you're about to reap what you deserve. All right. So with that, we'll close out and say all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai Ba'Shem Rakah Kodash Shalom.